And the third part is that I can talk a lot if the topic is something that I like. And then I want to be a consultant for leadership or management in the future. So which means today's topic is really something that I like, which means you also need to remind me about the time, okay? Yeah. And then about my profile and background. So first, I was a EP to Indonesia in 2016 in Bandung. And second, after that, I become OGV members, local volunteer, and also host the family in the first semester of ISEC. So basically, I attend all of the Engage with ISEC program. And then after that, I become IGV team leader with 2 Indonesians. And then after I get on board for 3 months, I got elected as LCP in 2016 October. Oh, this poll is very excited to ask me to also choose the answer. Okay, and then after that, I become LCP of IC in JNU, MOC, and then I do not know how many people are having partnership with this entity, but then yeah, I hope you have experience with this entity. And after that, I was become MCV PBD 1819 for MOC, and then I am RMGT for now. Yeah, so in all of these experience, actually for me, the one that I was LCP is the most inspiring for me, and also brought so many changes on me. So today I'm very happy to share about my story with you. And then these are the key things that you need to know about my team. So first, my team is always changing. So the frequency of us change, you will be very shocked. So first that is that my VP IGV, she was studying in America in the first semester. And after that, we changed a VPTM in May because my first VPTM has double major. And then we think that a TM should be very focusing on, and then at least she needs to present all of the LC events. But then because she is choosing double major, she cannot attend any event on the weekend. So we choose to change her into another one. And then this girl was actually my IGV team member. So she has very huge age gap with other people. And then we also found another ER director in second semester. So because when I was on board, I chose to shut down the BD function, but then after one semester, I realized, yeah, this is a function that is really important, but then we need to have more long-term plan. So I start to recruit a ER director first, so she was not officially in the EB team, but then we treat her as an EB member. And then another dramatic thing was happened, which is I also go to exchange in Taiwan. So basically, as you can see, our team was never be physically together. And then, so we only actually stay physically together as voting for 7 days. So this was not a good example because I think for a team, if you really want to get to know each other and connect with each other very deeply, you have to have a lot of physical meeting. But then for now, at this moment, I know there are a lot of people just start to try virtual communication or virtual team management. So I just want to show you my story that actually this can also be very successful team experience for you, but just depends on how you are going to manage it. And then here, I just want to ask, what is the difference that you can see from this picture? Any difference? Okay, I just I just share the answer. All right. So the difference itself is that we covers 3 campuses in 2 cities. So 1 to 2 hours by car. So which means that I have like 1 EB with me in main campus in the first picture, and then 2 EBs in the middle picture, and then it is in another city, and then the rest of them are all staying the last campus. So this is how we actually. It's been very hard. We try to set a regulation that we need to meet physically at least 1 month, once a month, but then we figure out it's too hard. So we just give up, and then we try to think about more virtual activities. And then it's that when we get on board, we also face a lot of crises, just like what you have right now. But then, of course, it's not like the current one, you cannot do any exchange. But then for us, we are not recognized by university. So we cannot do any promotion officially, and also cannot even borrow any booths or classroom. So this affects a lot in terms of recruitment attraction, because we cannot, like, if teacher found us, they will call us. So it was very like tricky situation we were in, but then we were still doing our best. So this is our achievement in the end. So we were realizing 95% percentage of the realization growth and a lot of awards or nominees. And then I also got 2 LCP candidates from EB. So you need to understand the context of my entity is that we, before that, we had 4 LCPs, but then all of them are coming from middle management board background. So which means a team leader. They never got people from EB team. So my entity, like starting from my generation, we start to have the LCP candidate from EB. So which is a very good pipeline. And then we also grew from cluster 4 to 2 in 5.5 years. So why I count for 2 years? Because what I believe is that your success cannot only measure by your term, but then how your successors is going to continue your growth in their terms. It's more important for you to remember. So my successors is really doing a very good job. So she brought so I basically brought my entity from cluster 4 to 3, and then she brought it from cluster 3 to 2 within 1.5 years. Yeah, so that's why you should learn from me. Just kidding. Yeah, so I just want to share my key learnings from my failures with you today. So first thing that I want to share with you is before you want to lead, you need to understand how team works first. So the objective of today is that first to be able to understand what is your team state right now, and the second is understand what is your responsibility to ensure the team is performing, and third part is how am I going to unify the team into one common purpose. So I know that a lot of people may have a lot of questions about the task that we sent you yesterday. So just some expectation about today. This space is not a training course for Belbing because first, different entities are using Belbing in a different way. For example, Malaysia is conclude it's in the personal development plan, but then however, maybe Nepal doesn't like necessarily to use Belbing before. So it will be very hard for me to explain every single things about Belbing in this short meeting. And then second is about you can research a lot of professional materials on internet, and then I can guarantee you that they are more professional than me. So and the last but not least, most importantly, is Belby didn't pay me. So if you think my course is good, then ask them to contact me, okay? Huh. Okay, so let's just start with today. I'm not so sure, can you see this? Because I was opening the group chat. Yeah, okay. So, okay, so for today, first is about the definition about the states. What is a team? And the second is how am I going to build team dynamics? And how am I going to evaluate? And last but not least is about leaders and managers, which is I want to also share with you about my experience as a leader. So what is team dynamics? I just want you to have a quick review about what was your best team experience and also what makes you feel great about that moment. So you can send it into the group chat once you are like, yeah, I have that memories actually. Okay, Joshua, Joshua. I don't know how to pronounce. My best team experience before LCP was when I was, oh, it's too fast. Okay, we are going to have more people. Jia Ying, LCP, best thing is everyone being themselves as who they are in the team. People are comfortable to share, strive and learn, and it with the team worked hard and achieve. Wow. Okay, amazing. So the next I'm going to pick one person, which is number 6, okay? Number 6, please share more experience with us. what makes you feel great, and also how it is different when you become LCP now. So let's find who is the number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. How to pronounce this name? LCP from Da Nang, Vietnam.
Oh, hi. Can you all hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. So the best team experience I've ever been through, where the whole team really share the same purpose, and they're striving for the same thing. And also, what makes me really fulfilled about that team experience is that everyone will put so many effort to help each other grow every single day. So that always makes the best team for me.
Okay, so how it is different now when you become LCP? How do you think about your current team experience?
Um, that's a very hard question because the answer may be different times to time. Um, I think this right now, the team I'm having right now have such a different background. So it's sometimes it's very hard to make people on the same page and to get them agree upon one purpose only. And also to keep reminding about the team purpose is very challenging. But I guess this is part of the journey. So
Yeah, I love your mindset and how you think about this. Oh, who's in the house? Okay, I'm going to end this poll. All right. So thank you for the sharings. I really like your positive mindset. And then it's true that it is experience. So the definition of team dynamics, which is actually an invisible force bring people together. And then it actually it's encouraging you and also help you to build a team environment that like people's behaviors will like organically like flow into one page, and then people are on the same page what we are going to achieve. And then at the same time, this will be have very different outcomes as well. So for example, if your team has very good dynamics, then which means you are going to have a very good results. But then if your team, the behavior, common behavior is that people are always complaining with each other, people are tired, people are feel dismotivated, then it will actually bring you that kind of effect as well. And then, but sometimes it just happens because actually for me when I was LCP, or when I like for example like I think after I become LCP, even after that it takes very long time for me to realize, oh yeah, probably my team becomes like this is because of some actions that I did that time, or some my teammates they did that time. But then for some reasons probably we don't really know why we choose to do that. And then so it's like people are just organically wants to do the things like that, and you do not know because there are no standard answers for you to actually build up a team. And then you need every team requires a different environment based on different personalities and also based on different team purpose. So it's very important for you to understand your team. And this is a team that's just getting formed. So Gina wants to actually ask questions to the planning process. So they are basically having a planning, okay? And then Gina wants to ask a question, but she is very afraid about after she raised questions, people don't want to answer it. But yeah, and then Prayo is the one that actually disagree about the current output. Then he thinks that things that a lot of people are already almost achieved the results, then probably I don't raise it. And then the team leader thinks about why are they quiet? Are we actually on the same page? Yes, probably we are on the same page. But then after the meeting, so these two boys, they are actually have a meeting after the meeting, and then they complain with each other about, oh my god, this process is very bad. So this is actually the sign of low psychological safety, which means people doesn't really feel comfortable to show their real opinions in the team. So how many of you are sound familiar with your current situation? If you think yes, I'm exactly in this situation, you can type yes. And then if you think I have already overcome, you can pass two. So people, you can like after this meeting, you can note down the name, and then you can keep interact with each other. Okay. So many people are in yes, but then we are also have a lot of people are in the two stage. I think in AIUB, Emily Ying Wu, and then I think it's Surabaya, I think NNU, I think it's Sufi, Eva. Okay, we have a lot of people who has already overcome this page. So I hope that after this you can note it down who has already overcome it, who is still facing the difficulties. And then I'm going to invite one person to share how did you overcome this. So I will pick Cindy Leung. Sounds like a Cantonese name. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Could you share with us what are the activities that you have done to overcome this stage?
All right. For me, my team, we will always have very open discussion together. So it is usual to find disagreement or different opinion, but it is very important, in my opinion, as a LCP or as a leader to make the final decision out of everyone's opinion together. And it is very important to listen out to every single one's opinion and to really understand why are they thinking like this, and like this, and instead of just rejecting their idea at first.
Okay, so there is a point I found. So we should be always listen and then don't reject people at the very beginning when they present their ideas, right? Amazing. So I also want to find a person who was saying, okay, I found this one. Maggie from New Zealand, Auckland City. So could you tell me why your team is still in this stage and what are the things that you have done and then why do you think it's not working out? Hello, Maggie.
Hi. I think the reason we're at this stage is because in my EB team we have 2 returning EB members. So they retermed and the rest of the EB members are new, so they're scared to speak up because they think the old EB members are the ones who know everything. So I've tried to set expectations with them and do feedback spaces where we try to understand the way we communicate and try to see the signs of when people are disagreeing, but it's still like a long process.
Yeah, that's true. So I also have this kind of experience before because as I told you, we have 2 new members and then they are actually being engaged in the team in 2 different times. And then I went to another space for exchange as well after that. So I also faced this kind of thing before. So today we can actually learn how I was did in that time. Yeah. So after a few months, right? This team, okay, so they start to be like the people just like what other people just shared right now. So Gina started to raise more questions and then these 2 boys say that, oh hey bro, let's don't do this anymore. Okay, so and then more people are coming up. For example, like Islu, our technical guy who is very supportive, and he will always ask what is your concern, and then Gina will say, yeah, my concern is about this result is blah, blah, blah. And then Phileas is the one who is very smart and always think about innovative solutions. So she is thinking that, oh, what we can do differently. And then for me, I'm the very objective person. So I will always helping them to do the evaluation based on objective. This is what we do. So in the end, if you can help your team to actually fulfilling their best in this team, you can actually have a better decision. Because in the last page, if you still remember, there are so many people they are hide in their minds, but then they never express. So the only thing that you can see is the surface of the team, but you can never know that what in the end the real opinions they are having right now. So what makes a team become like this? So I just want the people who have more sharings about if you are actually like apart from the listening things that you are have done, like you are working on that, anything else, any special activities you have done to make your team to become in a better stage. Yeah. So this space will be an open space. You can just open your mic and then you can just share. So we will have 3 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So who wants to share with us?
I would like to share about my experience this year. So I am Natalie from CTU, from Hong Kong, and my team is having some similar issue. But one of the reason I think is coming from me, like in terms of not having good self-management on stress. So it also stress out my EB. So they were scared of triggering my emotion, and then they tend to like tell us share their concern, but they tend to share less of their concern. So from time to time, the feedback can become so toxic that we only feedback when we feel we always feedback, but then whenever we feedback, it's already too late or too emotional. So what I'm trying to do right now is that, like other than controlling myself, it's also to not too scared to test my EB right after the meeting if I feel that, oh, there are some communication within the meeting that is not happy with one another.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I do agree about how people's reacting about everyone when they brings up concerns and how you do the emotion management, like whenever different situation is coming and how you are reacting. Because at very beginning, people can accept that and then try to adapt to you. But then after like few times, they will also feel tired. So it's very important that you can also be open-minded. Okay, so I will leave a space to another one who wants to share.
Hi, I would want to share.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you can share.
Okay, hi everyone. So I am Season. I'm LCP of Isaac in Kathmandu, Nepal. And then sharing about my experience, I also was in point one initially, starting of my term, because once I started my term, I had to go out for a month for my college field. So I felt my team was very scattered because starting of my term, I had to leave. But then when I came back, what I realized is it's very important we give them that ranting space where they say everything that they feel to everyone. If they keep it inside them, then that's just going to build up. So I started creating a space where everyone talks about everything that's going on in their life. Maybe that be their personal thing, or maybe that be anything that's going in their team, so that another person actually empathizes that person and then understands them. So creating this space helped me out a lot. And at this point, my team, if they have an issue with anyone, then they directly say it to them, and then nobody takes it personally. And then that's the professional line and personal line is always separated, and there is a small borderline that I've created that makes this space very safe. So it's very important we make, I personally feel it's important that we make sure they feel this space very safe, so that they share everything that's going on in their life, so that they are comfortable with their team and things get back into the place.
Amazing. Okay, so yeah, I think this, yeah, if you have any more questions, you can definitely talk to, sorry, how to pronounce your name?
Season.
Yeah, Season from Isaac in Kathmandu, Nepal. So I think if you are having the issue with virtual management, you can always talk to her. I think it's a very good example. Amazing. So here comes to our food today, because I really love food. So the key things that you should really know about the team dynamics. So first is that team not happen just by fluke, but it will be formed by step. And actually how you are design that step is your job. And then if you are designing it in a very good way, then probably the process that you are going to face in every stage of the team will be faster. But then if you think that the first 3 steps or few steps that you have already stepped out is not working right now, it's fine, because probably it's just you haven't found the best approach to, like solve the issue in your team. Because as I mentioned before, every team has different issues, and then the approach should be also different. There is no standard answers. So I do believe that a lot of you already get to know about these 4 stages, but just want you to know how it comes. So this is coming from a psychologist, Bruce Tuckman, and then he first came up with this memorable phrase, and then it's actually very early, and then as you can see, until now today, people are still using this. So which means the stages here are actually have a lot of, making a lot of sense. And then but then I also want to know that how confident you are actually in managing in different stages, because I know that a lot of MCs will deliver the similar content to you. But then it doesn't mean that, yeah, I know my team is in forming stage, but how I can make it faster? Can I make it, move it into the next stage in 2 weeks, 1 week? No, I don't think that we have the ability to manage that in manage this in that way. So today, I just want you to go through this content with me again, and then I hope that I can bring you some more perspectives on how you can actually managing in different steps. So first, let's go to the forming. So forming, right, there will be some key behavior and you can notice in your team. First is that people will very excited about, yeah, our team is the best, cool like a poon. And then maybe another person is like, yeah, I love this, let's do this, this is great. Oh yeah, we are going to achieve our best. But then, however, actually in this stage, there are a lot of people are thinking in their mind, like probably he thinks that I love this, let's do this. But then actually what he really thinks is that too many? Yeah. So it is the very similar situation, like common situation, because people in this stage, they try to be polite to each other, and they just come together as a team, and then they want to get to know each other. So the role here you are going to play is actually an icebreaker. So you need to ensure that every team is getting to know each other, how they are going to do the things, and then ensure that the connection is happening. And most important here is that your principal as a team leader, do you know what are the key behaviors that you cannot accept? And also, what is the team purpose? And what are the team roles and behaviors to do with the purpose itself? So when it comes to building a team purpose, for me, actually, I have been through so many times to planning, for example, like MCRM and LCP. And what I can say that is that I do not know, but then I feel like, when you was a leader, you're trying to build up a process to build up a team purpose. It is actually hard because you will always find that people are in a very different way that thinking about purpose. I remember in the replan, I was asking my EB to share what is their current purpose. So what was in my mind is, yeah, my LC is going to achieve blah blah blah. We are going to get blah blah blah. But then all of the thing is very small things from my opinion. Like for example, I just want my functions has a pipeline. Like at the beginning, I feel like this is not acceptable for me because I expect them to have the same purpose with me. But then this is not actually making sense because people come here with the good intentions, but then not necessarily people are going to achieve the same things. So what you need to do is really like just what people just shared about right now. You need to listen and then figure out what is the common things behind. So I remember that in that meeting, we were figuring out two things everyone wants to do. Like no matter in a functional level or in a small team level or in an LC level, which is become a milestone in in JNU history. And then we also want to try to build up a lot of foundations and then ensure that we are being recognized by the national plenary. So these are all the things that we want to do together, no matter people are doing it in a different way. Yeah. So second part is about storming. So usually in this stage, right? It's like people already mentioned. It's about disagreement. So basically, people doesn't really agree on each other. So they start to have a conflict, or after they get to know about like have more synergy activities, and then they feel like, oh my god, I don't want to work with this person anymore. So for this stage, like what is very important is that like they will express views very strongly. So it's very important you play a role as a conflict management. So if you are not like be aware about this part or not very confident and about this part, so either you can start to learn, or either you can find people in your team who is very good at this, or either you can find some externals. Because when some team conflicts happens, it's always good that you can seek for help from external. And the second is about what are the things you can do. For example, one-to-one coaching, plan tracking, JD adjustment, and also feedback split. So I want to share one-to-one is super important here. So I do not know, like maybe you can also type in the group chat. If you are doing monthly one-to-one with your EB team, you can type yes. If you are not really doing it regularly, you can take no. Okay, everyone is doing that. I'm very glad to see. Cool. So the one-to-one here, right? I think it is also like how you are doing that, because for me, I realized after like few terms, one-to-one can actually, has very different objectives. It doesn't, and also it doesn't necessarily to be in a very regular one. So the regular one, you can be always like stick to the objective, which is do the professional goals reviews and also do the personal development plan or their operational plan checking. But then for other, for example, their personal development, personal emotions, and other stuff, you can actually do, random approach with that person. It doesn't necessarily to wait until that moment. So when I was LCP, I was always like that, wait for that moment, and then it will always become too much, and then people need to take time to adapt. So it's very important that you are going to encourage your people to share their thoughts, concerns, or sad feelings immediately. Yeah. And also most important thing here is be fearless, learn how to communicate effectively, and also shape the mindset of don't take things personally. And then I know that this is the third month, no, March. Okay, second month that you enter your term officially. But I know you got elected from last year, right? So probably like this is already a little bit tiring stage for you. But then for your EB, because they get late and then late elected, and then also they got their new members, probably you will actually in a very different emotion stage. So if you are feeling tired, what my suggest to you is learn how to take a break rather than giving up. Okay, so the third stage is norming. So in this stage, right, like people start to appreciate other strengths and then respect leaders' authority. And instead of focusing on like other people's weakness, the conflicts inside of team, people start to focus on the function itself. So in here, your role should play is as an evaluator. So you need to know that what are the things we already good at and what are the things we still need to improve, so we can actually ensure our team is going to perform. So what you can do is plan tracking, team bonding, appreciations, and also instant feedback. Yeah, so most important here is accept the weakness of the team, because until this phase, right, you will already feel like, after you get to know each other so well, and then you know that, yeah, this is the people's weakness, and then you just let it there, like this person is good at coordinating. So every time, all of the coordinating role you assign to that person. No, it shouldn't be like this, because if you are doing like this, then people will feel, lose the interest, and also they will feel, yeah, this is how I should be. And then I don't think this is a good thing that leaders should do. So you should always to keep your eyes open, and then to figure out the good thing of the person and how to improve. So the last one is performing. So for performing like this one is the like, it's very simple. Then for your role here, sorry, it should be innovation. So the innovation part is that you should always okay. So in the performing one, right, you should be very innovative, because if you realize that our team is already in a very good stage, then how we are going to be better? For example, if your performance is already achieved, like your EB told you, yeah, my performance is achieved, then how you are going to make sure she is going to have a higher ambition? So it's very important that you do motivation management in this moment to ensure that people can keep performing. Okay, so figures. Do you have any new findings? If you have new findings, you can type in the group chat. Oh, people are interested in warm seat, hot seat. Okay, I know that you have a lot of appreciation to our tech guy. So do you have any new findings in terms of the team status, what is your role inside, and what you can do better? Hot seat is your new finding? Oh, people are paying a lot of attention on the tactics. Okay, I can share later. Yeah, so if you want to use hot seat, right, it's very important you can invite a chair, because sometimes uh, if people are not be equipped as how to give a good feedback, give a proper feedback, the skill is not there, then you will be like, oh, this is how you think about me, huh? Okay, thank you guys. So in the end, I just want to emphasize about team standards. So I think this helps a lot for me as a LCP in the past, although I don't really understand the concept about team standards behind. And then I feel all of the activities are, like too basics, and I want some more fancy and advanced than this. So I also read a lot of books. So for example, like 5 dysfunctions about a team, and then about like how you are going to have a automatic leadership. So I read a lot of like management books about the team. But then after I read so many books, I've realized team standards is actually some very simple guide for you to implement. And then every single activity, for example, if you take one-to-one out, it has a lot of like, a knowledge for you to figure out. So you can actually explore a lot of things for you to, master the skill as a team leader. Yeah, so yeah, this is for this part. So just have a quick recap. Well, in this page, we will mainly talk about what is the description of each stage, and then most importantly, what are the like significant behaviors that your team member is going to have. And the second is what kind of role should a leader play in different stage, because I do believe that in the past we all know about the stage, but we don't really know about so if this stage happens, what should I do? Yeah, so I hope this can give you some new ideas. So I just want to have a quick check. First, what are the 4 team stage? Second, what are the different roles that I can take in different stage? And then what are the things that I should implement? So who wants to share? You can just open your mic. Emily, ooh, you are from Australia, right? I think I remember you.
Wait, do I share, or because I typed it in the group chat?
Yeah, you can
it's
just share.
forming, storming, norming, performing.
Yes.
And then I can't remember the first one, but then it was conflict management, evaluator, and an innovator.
Okay. So the first one, forming, you should play a role as an icebreaker. And then what are the things that you should implement? I think you are muted, probably.
Oh, right, sorry. I think it was I think it was like to facilitate a space where they can get to know or break the ice if you're playing the role of icebreaker, right?
Okay.
Team standards.
Amazing. Yes, team standards. So yeah, I'm very happy that people are remember this. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Right now, this stage, do you still remember this stage, right? It sounds very like perfect. So people are like contributing their roles. So I just want you to answer me. What are the things that you think make it different? Yeah, you can just type in the group chat. What are the things that you think it is different? Make it different. Why people will become like this? Okay, I know you love Josephine. Then let's invite Josephine to share. What do you think? What are the things that you think make this team become like this?
Become like what?
Become like a ideal stage like this.
Ideal stage, like everyone can voice out their opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Constant feedback and also the bonding itself.
Constant feedback and bonding itself. Okay, amazing. Let's see, is it same with my answer? Okay, so my answer for here is utilize the strengths of each team member and also make the role clear. So as you can see, actually the question behind they are raising, it also shows about their strengths and their roles inside of here. So for example, like as what I just told you, Phileas is like a plant. So she can always think about the innovative ideas. And then Ni is like, obviously it is an implementer. So what she always launch in the team is, let's do this faster, blah, blah, blah. And then for Ginanda is a person that like she is a very realistic, and then she is kind of evaluate or monitor role in our team. So she can always like raise some good concerns about the plan. And then Islu is kind of like very supportive person, and then he can always notice about what are the people's concern and listen to others' opinion and do consolidation. Yeah. So what are the things that make people to start to do this? Yeah, it's role allocation. So people are being very clear about, yeah, this is I'm good at, and then I can do contribution to this team. So they start to do that. So this is something that I did with my EB team, which is also I ask you to do that. If you didn't finish it, it's fine because you can do it after this session. And then for here, right, as you can see, we need to, how can I, wait, right? Okay, and then, okay. So as you can see, first we mark down all of the scores of each person. So this is me. And then we also choose the best role that you can play. For example, me is a resource investigator, and then Bobby is an implementer and shaper, and Doris is a specialist. So we put everyone as a very clear team role so that they can actually so that they can actually be aware about this is the role that I can be in my team. And the second is that, yeah, okay. And the second is that we should be always identify the role based on the scenario. So I know that a lot of people are using Belbing before, but I'm not so sure about, are you actually break it down into scenario? So how you can make the best use of Belbing is not just, hey, Emily, you are the investigator. Hey, Hui Ming, Dino. Hey, Dino, you are the resource. You are the plant, and then you do this. No, it's not like that, because this is so big for people to understand what exact things they can do. So you need to break it down. Hi, Dino the plant. Okay, so you need to break it down about in different scenarios what are the things they can do, so people can, oh yeah, okay, I can do this at this moment. So for example, in forming stage, if you are a person like me, you are not a really good at coordinating things, or you are a good team worker, then you can find the person who in your team probably can be your TM, or probably can be some product people like who is good at this to help you to form the stage. Or if you are good at resource investigator, then maybe you can find some external to help you to form the stage. And then when it comes to the conflict, probably like the plant. So the plant and resource investigator, they can play more role. The plant can always help you to find what can be the solutions and why it happens. Resource investigator can help you to align with external or the other external approach that they can do. And coordinator and team worker can always help you to gather the team. And then when it comes to the clarify stage, you can always find the evaluator and specialist. For example, in our RM team would be Gina. So Gina can always be the evaluating role. And in the consolidation, we need a team leader. So which is you. You should coming out at this moment. Or if you are not good at consolidate, it's fine for now, but you can also relying on someone who is really good at these consolidate things to make it way forward. And in the end, we need people to be implementer and shaper and finisher. So helping you to get it clear. And then probably you will also have some questions. For example, what if my EB shows very low score in these some areas? For example, this one is the ER director. So this person, as you know before, she is a new one, right? And then she is a BD. So she really needs to work with other people. But then if she has a very low score, then this is a very huge concern. So, and then she was also in another campus. So for me, this is very hard to align. So one thing that I did is that first is I asked her to actually, like I helped she to build up the synergy routines with my product people. So at the very first beginning, I was also joining their synergy meetings to ensure that the routines has happened. But then after that, when they start to get to know each other better, then they will know. And then second is that the score is only means their self-awareness and their aspirations. So probably when she filled the survey, maybe she doesn't really understand the questions behind, or maybe, she doesn't really have a very strong self-awareness. So this can be a lot of reasons behind. And then, so you need to really figure out what is the reasons behind of that low score, because score cannot explain everything. And then last one is about set the minimum behavior expectations. So what are the things that you should establish as a principle and alignment with her at the very beginning when she entered the team? For example, my minimum to her is that you should achieve your revenue goal. And for the product support, it's fine for now because I just want you to build up the foundation for your ER team. And second, you need to give me an answer how ER can support product when you finish your term. So these are some behaviors that I tell her about why you are here in my team. And the second is I hope you can have very routine synergy communications in the team. For others, for example, you should play a role as a bond team, like probably that part we can take it slowly. So it's very important you as a leader to tell your people about this. And then what if my team doesn't have anyone in some area? So for example, you can see in my team, we don't really have a monitor evaluator. Yeah, so we don't really have a monitor evaluator. This, when it comes to this time, you should think about how you are going to make the team fluent and be more flexible. Like probably what you can do is to find, for example, in here, we have the second person who is name is Laurie. So she has quite high score here, but then it's not her best. So what you can do is to to figure out is there any potential you can actually discover, or maybe what you can do is to think about if the people who is in the lower score, for example, my score is pretty low, which is only 3. So but then as a team leader, probably I need to have the skill of monitoring things and also evaluating things. So you can actually help these kind of people who aspire to be that role to give her more space to practice. So in the end, your team will not just like everyone is be specialized in like particular roles, but then they are also develop themselves into another version of themselves. And then what if my team member doesn't really behave like the result from the test? This is quite common because when you see the description of each roles on the internet, right, you will think about, oh my God, am I like that person, or am I actually like that? So of course, probably cannot be. So one thing is that you need to review with your member if she is aware about the role and expected behaviors with others. So just like what I told you before, like it's always take the role in the very beginning. So probably they are just not aware about maybe when she raised concern, actually team appreciate her a lot. So she just don't behave like that. So it's very important for you to raise the awareness about that. And the second is the role doesn't mean that the person actually have the ability to play that role well. So for example, although I am good at resource investigator, so I thought like I was like that. And also that's why I was applying for PD, because yeah, I'm good at this kind of thing, right? But actually I don't like to do that. So it's also very important for you to figure out like this is, is it actually the best thing suitable for your team member or not? Okay, amazing. So there is a call to action for you. First is finish the test. Second is a set a frequency to review. So I know some of the entities, if you are using Belbing, then you already have the result from few months ago. But then what I want to tell you is that the result can be changed. Like it is always fluent. And the second thing is that even for some schools, it's very important for you to have a meeting or discussion with your team. Is it really like that? Because if you did this test, but then you don't really utilize it or have an open communication with your team, how we can play the role better, then the test is useless. Yeah. So I see there are a lot of questions is coming up in the group. So I will just finish my sharings first, and then if we still have time, then I can answer that. If we don't, then you can ask questions in the Facebook group, so I can also answer that. Okay, amazing. And then if you have any other question about like well-being or anything, you can Google it, because there are like millions of the ways. So yay. In the end, I just want to share about the leaders and manager. This is the story of mine. Like yeah. So in the very beginning, I thought I'm very capable for the role itself, because I always be the leader of the the monitor of the class, or take a lot of different roles in the school. So I thought this is very easy. But then actually what I realized that in the past, all of the things that I have done before I became an LCP was doing a manager role. So I can do things well, like I can do planning well. But then the key difference of a manager and the leaders is that managers are always like, they don't really have an original thoughts. But then leaders will always provide you the direction, purpose, kind of things. And second is that manager, they will always like, just do the things what people are telling you. But then the leaders are actually always think about how can I do better? And then what are the new things that I can do? So it's very important as an LCP, you need to keep this in your mindset. Like first, are you a leader or manager? Second, your EB is a manager or leader. Because I remember like I told you about the successful side of my LC, right? But then there are also there is a very big failure, which is our LC pipeline. Because like after we finish our term, our like middle pipeline is very bad, and the member pipeline is very bad. So all of things are very weak. And then during the replan, we know the problem behind is because of ourselves. So we are not be able to tell our team leader to be a bigger leader, like to teach and empower members to do bigger things. But then they are just like work as a manager. So they just listen to what our LCVPs order. So this is something is super interesting questions that you can figure out with your LCVP, and you can always be the observer to see are they intend to be a leader or they are actually just play a role as a manager. And then second, I was very and the second is that one story that I had is when we have the quarter review, my LCVP told me you don't have any empathy, and that actually makes me clashed. So I was like always trying to do my best for my team. I try to organize everything. I try to note it down all of the things. I try to organize all of the team tours or everything. But then the people who like they seem like they don't really appreciate me to do all of the things behind, but telling me you don't have any empathy. And also there was one person who was my marketing. She told me that I want to quit. So I don't know how you feel about like when you hear about all of these words. Oh my God, like together, it was in quarter review. I always remember this. So after that, right, I just do one simple things. Like after that quarter review, my VP marketing told me she wants to quit, and then she stepped onto the bus and then she moved to another city. So I just contact her, and then I told her tomorrow I'm going to your campus. So I just skip my class and then go to another city, like taking 2 hours bus and go to her city. And then we had a one afternoon chat. And then I remember so clearly that I was asking her, why do you want to quit? And she said, I don't have any, I cannot fulfill any personal development goals here. I don't have any learnings here. And then I feel very lonely because back to that time, we don't really have our ER director. So she is the only one who was doing anything in that campus, because in that campus, we have OGV, we also have IGV, but then all of the product VP, IGV was in USA, and then OGV was in South Campus. So they cannot manage that very well. So she needs to be the coordinator role. And back to that time, my ability as a LCP to manage this kind of synergy was also very sucks. Yeah, so she doesn't want to be my LCVP anymore. And then, so back to this kind of thing, when it comes to this kind of moment, I feel like, my mind just tell me you need to go to find her and then talk to her to share what is your real opinion. So I remember I was crying in front of her, and then I was saying that, but then you know that we cannot lose you. So after that sentence, the second day she told me, okay, I can join the team again. Yeah. So I think there are so many tools and also methods that can help you to manage your team. But then in the end, most importantly, it's about how you are sincere as a team leader, how you want to treat them as a team member. And that will be for sure, as you should be always taking this as your main focus. And because this is our responsibilities, we should cultivate leaders who can bring more inspirations to more people. We should not just take them as our manager or take them as our members, because they are the person who can actually bring bigger impact than you. Yeah. So for me, I always tell myself I should grow with my team rather than I lead her, I tell them what to do. So I guess this is the reason that why my team, although we are working virtually and then we don't really meet each other, but then we still have very strong connection. Even for now, our team are still having a lot of chats. So yeah, that's all from my session today. And then in the end, I just want you to think about these two questions. What does your team stand for? And what kind of leader you want to be? And it's always cool to be a LCP in Asia Pacific. And there are some resources. First, the 5 dysfunctions of team standards, and the assessment tool for team stage, and also the Belbin, which I already give it to you, and you can search more on the internet. But then how you want to get this is, so we are going to launch a Kutubi LCP challenge to you. So I will send you a template where you can put your application cover, and then also you can type what is your inspirations to be a leader and tag your EB to let them to know about what you are thinking. And after that, tomorrow, I'm going to launch all of the resources here to you. Yeah, so that's all from my session today. And what is team? It is together, everyone achieve more. And I hope that you can always feel it's cool to be a LCP in Asia Pacific. Yeah, that's all. You can post the challenge in Instagram and then tag our Asia Pacific. I can send more details in the Telegram group. Okay, amazing. Yeah, you can take this picture. Haha. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.